Hey, how's everyone doing today? It's Ash the Coyote here with another video. So today we're going to be doing something a little different. Today we're going to be talking about furry stereotypes, specifically species stereotypes. So think every little silly possible weird thing that you might think of for any specific species. We're going to go over that today. So I've picked my top 10 favorite species to roll through here in this video. We're going to talk about some of their stereotypes and just have some fun. Number 1, foxes. Foxes are just the best. They're so cute, they're so cuddly, they're so red and so adorable. I married a fox. What to say about foxes? Much ado about foxes. Let's see. So foxes are kind of like the quintessential furry species. I mean, everybody knows foxes. Most people have foxes for friends. Foxes have been around since the beginning. They're like super popular. I love foxes. But foxes have some kind of wild and weird stereotypes. For starters, you may have heard this before, but they're kind of easy. Foxes are easy. Oh yeah, they're so easy. Foxes can be sly, they can be sneaky, they can be slutty. The 3 major S's, all covered here. You got it. Because of that, they tend to get around and get into trouble a bit. I mean, just trying to be honest, but like foxes like to stick their noses where they don't belong. Foxes tend to like to get into trouble. That's kind of just what they do. Very mischievous. They love getting into trouble. Alright, next we have wolves. The ever-prevalent moon, the top of the food chain, the bottom of the barrel. I don't know where I'm going with this. Wolves are interesting. So wolves are pretty common in the fandom. I mean, I know a lot of wolf furries, and they tend to be kind of like the bread and butter furry. It's like a fox that graduated, or like, you know, like a more proper coyote, I guess. Wolves tend to have a structure about them, you know, like wolves are their packs. I'm the alpha, king of the wolves, that kind of thing, you know? That's a wolf thing. That's a wolfism. Wolves like structure. That's it. It's so simple. It's so easy to understand. Now, wolves have their own silly stereotypes. I'm not sure if you've heard of moon, but you definitely get moons when you hit wolves, especially in large groups. Moons are the special wolf. The wolf that kind of, everybody kind of likes the, thanks moon, can you just stay over there? That kind of wolf. And some wolves tend to be kind of regimented and opinionated and very vocal about it. Oh, try not to start a howl when you're around wolves. Trust me, it gets loud. See, wolves like to be the boss, the leader, the alpha when they're out in public. I think wolves are secretly bottoms. Everybody wants to be the alpha on the outside, but the omega in the bedroom, if you know what I mean. I mean, like, I'm not passing judgment on any of y'all wolves here. I'm just saying, I think I know what's up. Number 3, coyotes. Me, the trash doggo, the dumpster dog, all covered in sand, dirt, and grime. Extra scruffy, extra fluffy. You know how we roll. I mean, come on. Okay, so I'm biased on this one. Obviously, I love coyotes. The thing with coyotes is that I kind of feel that one doesn't really choose to become a coyote. They just kind of become a coyote. So coyotes are kind of like wolves or foxes that have seen some shit. I mean, like, for real seen some shit. It's like a fox who's just let themselves go to the wild, or like a wolf who's just like woken up to the world and just become different. We're just different. Like, we're awake, we're there, we're present, we're in the moment. I mean, you could say the coyotes are just wolves or foxes that have just stopped maintaining appearances. A common trope amongst coyotes is that we're tricksters, we're shapeshifters. We kind of escape the norm that way, and that's cool. I mean, that's different. That's awesome. We're the sand doggos, the dumpster bandits. We like tacos. Coyotes like tacos. This is a well-documented fact. Coyotes, tacos. Alright, so dragons. Oh my god, dragons. Dragons are interesting. Dragons are a fantasy creature. It's one of the few fantasy creatures I have on this list. And because they're a fantasy creature, they kind of exist in this realm that's different from a lot of other furries. So technically, dragons are scalies, and dragons tend to have a very unique set of interests. So like, you get everything from like the mythological, like, I like gold, I hoard it in a mountain, to like the less mythological, more kind of down that really creepy path of like, I like to eat people, or I like to be eaten. I mean, let's be honest, dragons are kinky motherfuckers. Every single one of them I've met has always kind of had this wild interest of one form or another, and I mean, that's cool. They're very themselves. And I think dragons are kind of unashamedly themselves, and I like that about them. I mean, like, dragons are a cool species. They have lots of piercings. They're kind of wild. They breathe fire. They need a breath mint. I mean, it's a dragon. Like, what do you expect? Like, dragons are just dragons. People who pick a dragon as a soda, they tend to kind of have a little bit more colorful interests. I mean, they're dragons. Let's just leave it at dragons. Huskies. Oh my god, huskies. Okay, so when I first got into the fandom, huskies were like in vogue, and I think they kind of earned themselves a position in the fandom as the, how should I put this? Discount foxes. They're like the lower maintenance fox. They're the easier fox. They have the curl. They're the curly boys. They get all like sassy and silly. They're all cute and colorful. They're adorable, and they just sound like husky. Everybody loves that floofy butt on a husky. I mean, they're so cute. Also, you know, huskies tend to be loud. They tend to like to talk. They're kind of rambunctious, high energy critters. You see a lot of them dancing. You see a lot of them out there yapping on the internet. It's cool. I mean, like, I love huskies. They're like something between a wolf and a fox. I think that's the best way to describe them. A husky's like a wolf meets a fox. But wouldn't that be called a wox? Wox. Is that a species? I don't think that's a species. Lions. Lions. Whenever I think of lions, I think of prides. I think of that kind of like fashionable mane or that cute trim cut. They tend to be kind of muscular and prissy. They tend to be like kind of like super cute and sassy. They have like a good sense of fashion. I wouldn't be lying. So lions and me have like this interesting relationship. I have friends that are lions that I absolutely adore, and I met some lions that I've just been kind of about. Lions tend to kind of like go one way or another. So you get the lions that are kind of like, I'm the king of the beast. And they tend to be kind of like that very like trimmed, proper, like bossy and ever so slightly prissy type. And then you get the kind of lions that are a little bit more like, yeah, Rastafarian lion, kind of like really chill vibes, and like kicking it nice and easy, and you know, like they're not queens, but they got a great sense of fashion, good hairstyling. I mean, lions can kind of exist on that pseudo hipster level, and that's really cool. They got that big floofy mane, that little curly tip on the tail. Otters are freaking tubes, okay? I mean, like, this theory has been put to rest, by the way. Otters are like the internet. That's it. They're tubes. Otters are tubes. End of story. Moving on. Maned wolves, the manies, the leggy boys. I love leggy boys. They're tall, they're handsome, they're cute. They do all the cool stuff. Maned wolves, I kind of feel, are new to the scene. I mean, they've been around for a while, but they've only recently seen a surge in popularity. You see the leggy boy memes, you see all the cute maned wolf suits that are popping up, and I love it. I just gotta say, like maned wolves are like the most underrated species as far as like suits out there. And you get all sorts that kind of like gravitate to it. Generally speaking, I think the best stereotype for maned wolf is kind of a little bit of a stoner. So like maned wolves have the nickname of dank wolves because they have a smell that's very reminiscent of a certain leafy green substance that's legal in Colorado. They tend to be chill, tall, kind of lanky types. They kind of have like good vibes and like, oh my god, they're tall, handsome, perfect. They're just so adorable. I love maned wolves. Here's the thing. Maned wolves are kind of new to the stereotypes. I mean, like, obviously there's gonna be the big one, right? Maned wolves are gonna be tall. Unless you're chipped, then you're gonna be short, maned wolf. But are maned wolves actually foxes on stilts? I mean, that's like a common trope, right? I don't think that's accurate. I think maned wolves are kind of in their own unique genre. Dutch angel dragons. Yes, Dutch angel dragons. The first Dutch angel dragon that I ever remember seeing was Telephone. I don't know if that was the first one ever, but that's the first one I remember seeing. And Telephone kind of embodied this character that I think a lot of other angel dragons kind of vibe with too. It's like this high energy, squeaky, silly, rambunctious, sassy like dragon. It's not like your normal dragon, you know? They're not like out there. They're not that kind of dragon, but they have like this super nice, cool, high energy vibe about them. You know, like they do the cute things. Last but not least, the hyena, the Dusty Boys. Oh, the Dusty Boys. Yes, the Dusty Boys. So hyenas, I've always had this thing with hyenas. I always end up being friends with hyenas. They're kind of like a different subsect of coyote. They're like a coyote that got even scruffier. They're kind of stanky, they're kind of silly, they like drinking their beer, they like being scruffy and wild. They have like this really high party vibe energy to them. And God, they're just, they're so much fun. Hyenas are fun. Hyenas are the best. Some of my best friends are hyenas, and they're so silly. They like to throw down those jokes. They just, oh my God. All right, now it's time for Ask Ash, the part of the episode where I answer questions from my fans and patrons. I have quite a few of these in backlog, so I will be answering a few every episode till I catch up. But feel free to ask questions in the comments section below if you have a question that you'd like me to answer. I promise I will get to it eventually. Passion Panther asks, I have a friend who recently came out as non-binary, and I was wondering how someone would know that they are a certain gender outside of the binary male or female, such as gender fluid, agender, non-binary, etc., and how they might typically go about expressing these gender identities. That is a fantastic question, so let's break it down a little. Gender identity is a complex thing, and is the furthest thing from black and white. Many folks fall somewhere on the spectrum. You can be a trans man or trans woman, trans masculine or trans feminine, non-binary, gender fluid, the list goes on with many complexities. The core of it is that in many ways your gender identity and expression are unique to you. How would you know if you are a certain gender outside of the binary? Well, usually it starts with a feeling of not feeling comfortable in one's own skin, sometimes at a young age. This isn't always the case, by the way. These feelings begin to amplify as you grow up and can get out of control around puberty. From my own experience, I struggled a lot from about the age of 5 on. I wanted to wear girls' clothes and sometimes snuck into my sister's rooms to borrow them. I got made fun of a lot at school because I was very sensitive and just didn't fit the mold for being a guy. Now I have friends that went through the discovery process later in life too. That experience is just as valid. So how might one go about expressing these gender identities? It can manifest in a lot of ways depending on where that person is in transition and how comfortable they are with that particular environment. When I transitioned male to female, I started by wearing clothes and makeup that reflected my identity around the house first. Then, as I became more confident in my expression, I started branching out into more public spaces. I would say start slowly and keep an eye on your comfort zone. See what works for you and don't be afraid to try something new. Flimsy Fox asks, what was your experience with choosing a fursuit maker? Another excellent question. I feel like lately we have seen a huge jump in fursuit makers. I remember when I joined the fandom, I think there was like 3 that I remember. Now there are a ton of makers, I think over 100. It's just incredible. Because of that diversity, it can make the fursuit buying process a bit more complicated for those just getting into the fandom and exploring all the different makers. So how do you choose a maker? I go about it like this. First, start by researching the styles that you like. Find suits that you feel might fit your style of performance and aesthetics. If you are looking for a 2D suit, you might not want to go for a Clockwork Creatures creation. And really research the suit makers too, because that will make a huge difference. You don't want to end up with a suit that just doesn't fit your identity as a suitor. Once you find a maker or makers, you should reach out to suitors who have one of their suits. Repeat customers are a good sign. For example, we have 3 made-for-you suits because we liked my first one so much. Ask some questions like, how satisfied are you with the suit? How durable has it been? Was the maker available to address any concerns that might have come up? Within reason, of course. When I commissioned one of my older suits, I had no idea that the maker had a reputation for not delivering their commissions. That's something that I had to learn the hard way. Always ask questions before you send your money. Finally, you found a maker that meets all your requirements and seems to be a safe bet. Time to start the commission process. The most important thing to know about this part is that you have to be patient. Makers usually have a queue that is around a year long and up to 3 years from the point in which you commission them. Your suit will likely take a while to get made. It is a very difficult art form that takes a lot of time to execute right. You don't want to rush a fursuit, trust me. Just be patient and I am sure that you will be happy with the results. Galena asks, how did it feel when you wore your Ash Coyote fursuit for the first time? Oh my god, this might actually make me tear up a little. As some of you might know, Ash was made for me when I first started my transition. Cybert asked to create the female version of my character for me from a commission slot that I'd had for a little while. By the way, I cannot recommend Made For You enough. Cyber makes just such beautiful suits. I think from concept to completion, it took like a week. It was so fast. She had sent me a message saying that she was starting, and then messaged me a few days later to tell me that I should expect a package of BLFC. I still remember the feeling when I got the box from the post office. I was shaking with nervous excitement. Time seemed to stop as I broke the seal on the box, opened it up to see Ash staring back at me. She was and still is perfect. Pulling out the head, putting it on, just took my breath away. Just absolutely the most amazing feeling in the whole world. That BLFC was just the most amazing convention. I was able to go out dressed up as me and get gendered correctly. Interact with people who saw me as the person I was on the inside. It just still makes my heart sing with joy. This suit changed my life. It became a part of me in a way that I could have never imagined. I am still blown away by how much it has affected me. Alright, to shift gears a little bit, I want to talk about merch. So I have been thinking about offering merch for my channel for a little while now, and I'd love to know what the interest would be. You know, would you guys like any Ash Coyote merch or any like cute like kind of things like that? Is this something that you'd like me to add to my Patreon? Is this something that you'd like me to kind of build in and like sell via a store? If it is something that you'd be interested in, if you would be interested at all in purchasing like an Ash Coyote pin or an Ash Coyote t-shirt, let me know in the comments. I would love to know. I'd love to hear what you would like. I'd love to hear suggestions and ideas and stuff that you might like to see coming from me. Alright, I'm going to take a moment to update you on the film. We have been working on the edit this past week, and we've been working like super hard on this. So far, we have a rough cut of the film that is really close to being polished. We have locked in our animations. We have finished almost everything with the process, but we're still trying to finesse in the picture. We're still trying to finesse in the story just a little bit more before we start kind of getting it active and out there. I am so excited for this thing. I've watched the film, I think, every single day this past week. And each time I've watched it, it's gotten better. It's gotten more amazing. It's gotten to a point where I just feel like this is going to be something so special for our community. And I am just absolutely thrilled to be able to share it with you. Words cannot describe how much this opportunity has meant to me. So thank you all. The people who've been on my channel here, supporting my content, helping me to kind of like build this up. Thank you. Thank you so much. It means the world to me. It means the world to my husband. You've just given us something that's absolutely incredible. Alright, I think that about wraps it up here. I hope you all have a fabulous day. Don't forget to hit that like button, boop that bell, and subscribe if you aren't already. Got a funny furry stereotype to share? Let me hear about it in the comment section below. I hope you all have a fabulous day. Goodbye! A special shout out to all my lovely patrons, starting with my super fans we have Diana DePride, Jessica Rose, Brad the Fox Who Writes, Lazy Trash Panda, Beastly Drohan, Wolf Rider, Billy Daxter, and Elliot Excel. Next we have my fan tier with Ashira Pony, Snow Wolf, Veronica Fox, Bear Sinneth, Passion Panther, Dan Fox TX, Nova Halvern, and Solace the Wolf. Finally, we have my early access tier with Tyler Bain, Tyler H., Scruffy Fincat, Elixir, Cosmo, Scaleth, Shadowfaxy, Tyler Furlong, Tara Linus, Talija, Edith Everett, Cockernell, Runes and Kaz, Jasmine Sawyer, and Mitsukatsu Wild Rose. Thank you all so much for your support. If you're interested in supporting me and my channel, please consider donating to my Patreon. Just $1 a month is worth more than all the ads here on my channel. We have lots of cool perks, including early access to episodes and some fun merch. Be sure to check it out. The link is in the description below. Maned wolves, the manies, the leggy boys, the legged boys, extra scruffy, extra fluffy, the special wolf, discount foxes. They need a breath mint. End of story, moving on.